Well, alrighty everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Back again. Well, the thing is, it's been a while since I made a video on my YouTube channel. Except for shorts, obviously. But today, we're gonna be doing something really interesting. So the thing is, I keep getting a lot of questions that, how can I improve my English? How can I reduce my Indian accent? Well, personally, I think it's possible. I mean, a lot of people, they're like, it's not really possible. You can't change your accent if you got one from your country, if you're born in that country. Now the thing is, I was born in India. I live in India. I've never been outside. But the thing is, it's not like it's not possible to change your accent. Obviously you can. So the thing is, the way I did it, it's like obviously I did a bunch of different stuff, right, in order to achieve the fluency, right? So the thing is, we're gonna go ahead and watch some videos on YouTube, like the tip, how you can reduce your Indian accent. I mean, they're like a bunch of people they're making videos like that. So we're gonna go ahead and react to it, and let's see how it goes because obviously there are like a bunch of people doing things differently in their way. So we're gonna see it and we're gonna react to it, and there's like something that I think it's different. Maybe you should do it in a different way in order to achieve that. I will let you know. All right, let's go. Let's watch this video.
The American accent. Could you please tell some tips? There are a bunch of pieces of every
All right. I'm hoping it's not really loud because I think it's really loud for me. Just turn it down a bit. All right, let's see.
accent. Every accent has its own characteristic, right? But there are two that I think are pretty big ones that can at least lessen the strength if you want to. And I don't care if you do or not. It's your goal, your thing. But if you want to, there are two sounds that are big in the Indian English accent. One is to
All right. So the thing is, now before we watch this, just letting you know, this guy's a foreigner. He's a white man. He's American probably, and well, this thing that he's saying is from his perspective, right? Not from an Indian's perspective. So it might be, a little biased or maybe a little different. I'm not saying he's biased, but like obviously he's talking about the thing that he probably must have heard. I mean, he's probably talking about the thing that he probably must have heard from, different Indians when he's talking. So I think that's from his experience. So well, we're gonna go ahead and see it. Let's see.
replace the D sound of English with a deeper, richer, harder D sound, which is simply about tongue positioning, right? And I've spent a lot of time moving my tongue back and forth to try to figure out the difference between those two, specifically for the Indian accent. In the Indian sound, the D sound is farther back. Guh, 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 guh,
Yeah, that's true.
guh,
I mean,
guh,
that's
guh.
kind of true. The thing that he said about D sound is true. The thing is, when we speak in English, right, the mouse placement is kind of different for us, right? It's way back. Like, I don't really know how to, the way he's doing it, I think he's probably just making it up, but like for someone who's Indian, we can relate. Like if I try to say the D word and with an Indian accent, it's like D. It's like, it's D. I'm trying to talk like this. Date. What's the date? Right? And there is like bunch of other stuff. No. So the thing is, when you try to say it, it's like, the mouse placement is really different. It's really hard for me as well. Not that I'm saying I'm not Indian. I'm Indian, obviously. But like if you try to speak in a different accent, you get used to with the mouth placement that you have. So it's really hard to switch, to go back and forth. That's the thing. But he's right about the D sound. It is. If I try to say the D sound, it's D, Delhi. What's the date? It's actually way back. I can feel it. So he's right about that.
Right? Grr, grr. My tongue is all the way back in the soft part. It's called the soft palate. Grr. Instead, if we move the tongue forward and we place it right on the ridge of the hard palate, not directly behind the teeth, but on that ridge, in that comfortable place right there, and you lift the tongue up, and you put it there, then it sounds like this. Duh, 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 grr.
You see the difference, right? You guys can tell. So if I try to say it like this, if it's D, it's like Delhi. I live in New Delhi, right? So it's like somewhere right here, back part of my teeth. But like if I try to say it with an Indian accent, it's way back. So that's right. That's what it is.
Grr, grr, duh, duh, duh. Grr, grr, duh, duh. You hear the difference? In the case of the duh, duh, the sound is thinner. It's not as heavy. It's not quite as rich as the grr, grr sound. But the only difference there is that the tongue is flatter and it's pushed farther forward. That's it. Okay? Now, the other one is that we talked about earlier, the W and the V mix-up sound, right? So, as many people will say in the Indian pronunciation, to replace the W with the V, waiting, for example, waiting, waiting, ding, ding. There's that ding.
Dude, he's trying to do that typical Indian accent, but he's right. The difference, there's a difference, right? When you pronounce the word that has W in it, it's different. It's not v, it's w. So if it's W, it's w. So it's like it's waiting, all right? It's not waiting. He's right about it.
D sound there. I want to make that lighter.
That was typical.
Ding, or ting, but sometimes we can say the D sound for our own T, because we have this, it's called the light D. We say instead of waiting, we say waiting, waiting, waiting.
Yep, so there's like a combination of like W and T, so it's like waiting, right? If you're trying to say it with an American accent, it's waiting, right? It's waiting, it's waiting. So if you pronounce the word T as T, like T waiting, I think it's more British. But like if you're trying to learn some American accent, it's waiting, right? You replace the T with D, that's it, waiting. And that's W, so it's not V. Like V sound is really different. It's like vase, right? It's like volleyball, right? It's V. But like when it's W, it's W. Waiting, wall, right? There's like a bunch of different words that you can pronounce.
Very light D sound. And then the other one is to make sure that the lips are pushed forward. Whoa, 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 whoa. So whenever we want to make the V sound, when we say words like village, village, then we put it there with the bottom lip pushed up to the top teeth. Va, 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 va. But it's very important when it is a W sound to make sure it's a clear, distinguished W sound with the lips pushed forward, air coming out, and the cheeks slightly moved by the air moving out, right? If it's too open, then it's like this. Oh, we don't want that. We want it to be so close together that the cheeks are ever so slightly pushed out by the air moving outward. Because when that happens, you get that sort of whooshing effect that is part of the W sound. Not the... That's not quite right either. That's, for example, in words like who, you get that rushing effect, right? But for most W words, even words that include an H, we still have a bit of air pushing the cheeks out, but it's a little bit smoother and doesn't have that.
Alright, well, I can tell the thing that he said was quite difficult for someone who's not an American, who's not white, you know? But the thing is, it's true, right? The thing that he's trying to say. So like, there are a bunch of different stuff. So like, when you try to pronounce the word like who, right? So like, it's W, right? You're pushing air outside. It's who. The way you got to do it, like your lips placement, and, you know, pushing the air outside. It's difficult. So I understand. Like I went through this, you know, this comment section. They're like a bunch of Indians, and they're like, I can barely understand the thing that he said. He's trying to explain. Like most of the thing you would get, but like there are like a couple things you're probably not gonna understand, and that's true. Where it happened because, you know, we're not used to it, right? But the thing is, that's basic, right? So like, if you really want to sound like an American, if you're really trying to reduce the Indian accent, well, you got to start from somewhere, right? Just start with your T sound, start with your D sound, right? Start with the W sound I was trying to say, V sound, all right? And then you learn how to pronounce R sound, like R, you know, like the American R sound. So yep, obviously there are like a bunch of other stuff that you can try to learn. I mean, you shouldn't focus much, to be honest, because, you know, obviously it'll be like really difficult in the beginning, but like, you know, at some point you're just gonna get used to it. And the thing that I would suggest is that just try to surround yourself with English. If you're trying to learn an American English, then, you know, try to watch more American stuff. If you try to learn some British English, try, you know, just surround yourself with some British content. That's all you can do. Just try to listen, because I think listening is more important than speaking, obviously. If you listen, you're going to learn it. If you don't listen to anything, you're not going to learn anything. So that's the thing, all right? Just try to listen, try to absorb more of, you know, those content, and then you're going to, obviously you can learn it. That's how I did it personally. I've never been outside, right? I don't even have a passport. No, I'm just kidding. I do have a passport, but I've never been outside. That's the thing. That's another story. And I'm not really saying that I'm perfect. Obviously, I'm not. No one's perfect. We're all learning, right? That's the thing. So, anyways, I'm gonna come up with some more videos like this in the future, and obviously I'm gonna react to more of these content because, you know, it's really helpful. You can always learn from other people's experiences, so I think that's really important, and that's what we're gonna do. Alright, anyways, until then, you guys have a good one.